Welcome to the installation video of the ARIES security cargo lid on a 2016 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. This security cargo lid has an aluminum construction with a textured black powder coat finish. These are the tools needed to complete the installation. Begin the installation by following the manufacturer's instructions on removing the hard or soft top. With the roof removed, open the rear door and fold down the rear seat to make the installation easier. Locate the two factory bolts that are located behind the rear seat and remove the nuts attached to these bolts. Save the nuts for reinstallation. Next, place the bottom crossbar over the two factory bolts with the threaded insert facing the front of the vehicle. Reattach the factory nuts, but do not fully tighten at this time. Place the back seat plate into position, aligning the holes with the threaded inserts on the bottom crossbar. Secure in place with an 8mm by 25mm button head bolt with a locking and flat washer at each location. Snug the hardware, but do not fully tighten. Locate the wide 50mm foam strip and cut it in half. You should have about 2 inches in length of material. Peel and adhere the foam strip onto the body lip where the roof sits just behind the rear door. Follow with attaching the 25mm foam strip along the inner edge of the body, ending at the factory rubber. Trim off any excess. To make hardware installation easier, feel where the factory holes are on the vehicle and cut the foam with a utility knife. Repeat this on the other side. Next, place the cargo center section in place on top of the back seat plate. Align the plate with the tube of the center section and fasten with an 8mm by 25mm button head bolt with locking and flat washer at the 4 mounting points. Snug the hardware, but do not fully tighten. Fold the center section of the security cargo lid open so it forms a workbench on the back of the rear seat. Locate the driver's side plate and place it around the rear support bar and on top of the center crossbar. Fasten the side plate with an 8mm by 35mm button head bolt with locking and flat washer on the 2 innermost mounting locations. Secure the bottom of the side plate with an 8mm by 25mm button head bolt with a locking and flat washer at the 3 mounting locations. Snug the hardware, but do not fully tighten. Repeat this process on the other side. With the rear door fully opened, use a marker to make a mark around the latch position. Loosen the bolts, making sure not to fully remove the rear latch. Slide the driver's side bracket between the gasket and the latch plate. Attach the bracket to the support bar with an 8mm by 25mm button head bolt with a locking and flat washer. Snug the hardware, but do not fully tighten. On the passenger side, locate and remove the bolt for the hold-down tab located near the rear of the Jeep. Place the lower passenger side support bracket over the mounting hole and fasten into place with the previously removed hold-down tab and bolt. Next, place the upper bracket behind the lower and fasten to the side plate with an 8mm by 25mm button head bolt with a locking and flat washer. Attach the 2 brackets together by inserting a 6mm button head bolt with a flat washer into each mounting hole, followed by another flat washer, lock washer, and nut on the back side. Snug the hardware, but do not fully tighten. Locate the driver's side insert plate and place on top of the side panel. Fasten this plate into place using a 4mm button head bolt with a locking and flat washer at the 4 mounting locations along the top. Do not fully tighten at this time. With the plate assembled, Attach the rubber stripping around the opening, making sure you feel the clips on the inside grab the cargo lid. Repeat this process on the other side. With help, place the hard top back into place. If you are using a soft top, you will need to place 3 8mm nut tabs per side under the lip where the roof sits to be able to fasten the top down. When the top is back into place, begin closing the cargo lid. You will need to adjust the lid as you close it, and it may be necessary to tap the side plates for a better fitment. Once aligned, fasten the top to the vehicle using an 8mm by 60mm button head bolt with a locking and flat washer at each of the factory mounting points. If you are not reattaching the top at this time, fasten the cargo lid to the vehicle using an 8mm by 25mm button head bolt with a locking and flat washer at each of the mounting points. Make adjustments as necessary as mentioned in the top installation instructions. With the security lid aligned and all the bolts are in place, tighten all of the hardware. Close the rear door of the Jeep and check the alignment of the latch plate. Adjust if necessary, and once it is aligned, tighten the hardware. Place the tie-down brackets into position and secure them into place with 2 Phillips machine screws per bracket. To help seal the rear of the cargo lid, attach the rubber trim strip along the bottom edge of the side panels and center lid section. This completes the installation of the ARIES security cargo lid on a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. For more information on this and other Jeep accessories, visit ariesautomotive.com.